The day Milo Meerkat learned about rules. And now, attention. A riddle. I'm a small but clever creature from Africa's land. Living with my family, we work hand in hand. While some of us dig for tasty treats below, others stand up tall, watching for friend or foe. When danger comes near, I make a special sound to warn all my family to hide underground. What am I famous for, being in my group? Maybe. The chef, I find and cook all the food. Or the sentinel, I watch out for danger and warn others. Or the musician, I sing songs to entertain everyone. You will find out the correct answer at the end of the story. Deep in the sun-baked Kalahari Desert, where tall grass swayed in the warm breeze, lived a young meerkat named Milo. He was the most energetic member of his colony, always bouncing around and asking questions. But there was one thing Milo didn't understand. Why were there so many rules? "Stay on guard duty when it's your turn," his mother would say. "Stay close to the burrow," his father would remind him. "Always listen for the warning calls," his older sister would insist. Milo thought all these rules were just meant to stop him from having fun. One particularly sunny morning, while the other meerkats were busy doing their duties, Milo had an idea. "I'm old enough to make my own decisions," he declared to himself. "Today, I'm going to do whatever I want." Instead of taking his turn as a sentry like he was supposed to, Milo scampered off to chase grasshoppers. He jumped and pounced, getting further and further from the colony's burrow. The tall grass made excellent cover for his game, and he was having the time of his life. As Milo chased a particularly juicy-looking grasshopper, he suddenly realized he couldn't see any of his family members anymore. The familiar termite mound where they made their home was nowhere in sight. But Milo wasn't worried. He was having too much fun to care about the rules. Then he heard it, the distinct shadow of an eagle passing overhead. In the colony, this would have been spotted by the sentry, who would have given the warning call, sending everyone scurrying to safety. But Milo was all alone, with no sentry to warn him and no nearby burrow to hide in. His heart pounding, Milo froze in place. He remembered his mother's lessons about what to do when danger approached. Stay still, look for shelter, and wait for the warning call. But there was no warning call coming, because he had skipped his sentry duty. The eagle circled overhead, its sharp eyes scanning the ground. Milo had never felt so scared or so alone. He carefully crawled under a small bush, making himself as tiny as possible. For what seemed like hours, he waited, trembling, as the eagle made several passes over the area. Finally, the eagle flew away, but Milo's troubles weren't over. He was lost, and the sun was starting to set. The desert would soon be cold and dark, and other predators would come out to hunt. Milo realized that all those rules he thought were so boring were actually there to keep him safe. Just when he was about to give up hope, he heard a familiar sound. The alert calls of his colony. They were searching for him. Milo called back with all his might, using the special meerkat call his mother had insisted he learn, another rule he had once thought was silly. Soon his family found him, His mother wrapped him in a tight hug while his father stood guard nearby. His sister checked him for injuries, and the other colony members formed a protective circle around them. On the way home, Milo's mother explained, "Rules aren't meant to stop you from having fun, Milo. They're like a safety net that keeps our whole colony protected. When one of us doesn't follow the rules, it puts everyone at risk." Milo thought about his scary adventure. "I understand now," he said quietly. "When I skipped sentry duty, nobody was watching for the eagle. And if I had stayed close to the burrow, like Father said, I wouldn't have gotten lost." His sister added, "And because you remembered the distress call Mother taught you, we were able to find you quickly. That's another rule that helped keep you safe." Back at the colony, Milo noticed things he had never appreciated before. The sentries standing tall and alert, watching for danger. The organized foraging parties staying within sight of each other. The careful way the adults taught the younger meerkats which foods were safe to eat. That evening, as the colony settled in for the night, Milo made an announcement. "I want to volunteer for extra sentry duty tomorrow," he said, "and I'd like to help teach the younger pups about warning calls." His parents exchanged proud looks. Their little Milo was growing up and learning one of life's most important lessons. Rules exist to keep everyone safe and working together. From that day forward, Milo became one of the most reliable members of the colony. He still loved to play and have fun, but he did it while following the rules. He even started coming up with helpful new rules of his own, like creating a buddy system for young meerkats learning to forage. Whenever a younger meerkat would complain about the rules, Milo would gather them close and tell them about his adventure and what he learned. Rules are like the roots of our acacia tree. You might not always see why they're important, but they keep our whole colony standing, strong and safe. And so, the colony continued to thrive, with Milo helping to teach each new generation the importance of working together and following the rules that kept them all safe in their desert home. The end. And now the correct answer to the riddle. The correct answer is the sentinel. Meerkats are famous for taking turns as sentinels, standing on their hind legs and watching for predators while others in the group forage for food. When they spot danger, they make alarm calls to warn the rest of their group. Hope you enjoyed it.